When you build a house, inside the walls, there is a frame. You begin to build a house by framing the walls. In the same way, our home management systems need a framework. And that's what we're going to create today. I'm Misty Winkler, and you are watching Simply Convivial here on YouTube. This is the place for gospel-centered homemaking, encouragement, and skill building. So if that sounds like something you'd like, make sure that you hit subscribe and also the like button for this video, because that will make it more likely for YouTube to show this video to you and others like you. There is so much that goes into managing a home and growing a family. It's easy to get lost in the details and to feel overwhelmed by all that there is to do and all the possibilities as well. We need some kind of criteria to help us make better decisions. A set of criteria like that is a framework. And a framework will help us make good choices and help us to be more confident in those choices that we do make. So let's dig in and build our own housework framework. Everything does have a framework, whether it's conscious or not. The government's framework is the Constitution. Our education's framework is made up of our core principles. A computer software framework is the basic functionality that must be created before the frills and the features. And our housework needs a framework just as much as anything else that we do or use. We need to have an underlying structure that gives shape to our days and that supports our sanity. Without a framework, we're sloppy, floppy, choppy. We do this and that here and there and never feel like we're getting anywhere because we're not. So let's push pause. Take some time out of the random peppering of chores throughout your day and give yourself a framework that will make consistency possible. We do this first by being sure that we are hanging our habits on hooks. Scientific research has proven that habits have cues. They have prompts. One thing happens, whether it's a hunger pang or a time of day or an emotion or a statement, something happens that triggers our habit. So if we want to form habits of housework, we need to attach them to triggers. We need to find pegs in our day that we can hang our habits on. So instead of thinking in general about what needs to happen sometime, anytime, choose a time, a specific time, or a trigger for the action. Of course, the obvious trigger in our days are meal times, because those are pretty regular. But what about wiping out the bathroom sink after you brush your teeth, or swishing the toilet after a shower? Maybe whenever you go upstairs, you form the habit of taking something with you that belongs up there. Think of triggers that are not only time related, but also action related. Habits of tidiness will be more successfully planted and stick and grow sooner if we hang them on hooks that are already a part of our day. The next way to build a framework for your housework is to think in threes. Something about the number 3 is satisfying. 3 feels like a complete set. Perhaps this is one way that God reveals himself in nature. We're compelled and attracted by 3s. Let's bring that into daily life. Don't create a chore list, a gazillion items long, and think that you're going to get to them all. Instead, put them into bundles of 3. After breakfast, do 3 things. After lunch, do 3 things. After dinner, do 3 things. Those 3 things do add up fast. Not only do they add up fast, they also stick faster because 3 feels more manageable. It is more manageable and less overwhelming than, say, 30. When we feel overwhelmed, we're likely to never start at all. And of course, starting is the hardest part. So let's make it easier on ourselves by narrowing down our focus to 3 things at a time. Third, we need to move into maintenance mode. It's an easy trap to fall into. We look at what needs to be done and we just want to get ahead. We want to do all the laundry. We feel deep down like we should be able to be caught up. And then we'd be able to stop doing the laundry, at least for a little while. But newsflash, laundry will never be done. And as soon as you take a break from the laundry, you're behind. Most household chores are like laundry in that regard. Even organization itself is like laundry. The reality is that life takes maintenance. Maintenance and getting ahead are 2 entirely different modes. Catching up and getting ahead is extra. It really doesn't last very long either. But maintenance is daily, without fail, repetition. If you only spend time in catching up or getting ahead mode around the house, then you'll remain stuck in those boom and bust cycles. Instead, we need regular time reserved for some extra tasks to help us move forward while keeping up our maintenance level. Maintenance is not glamorous and it is repetitive, but it is also a blessing to ourselves and our family because it is what keeps our house functional. We need those maintenance routines to make it less likely or less easy to fall back into that chaos state around the house. Maintenance routines help us tread water so that we don't drown in chaos. Those maintenance routines, however, will not move us forward in changing the state of our house as it is. Maintenance keeps things where they're at. Whatever the current state of our home is, that's where the maintenance routines will keep us. Even staying put takes work. When we don't have maintenance routines, entropy means we will be falling back and back, behind and behind. So we need to spend time in both maintenance and getting ahead mode. We need both of them paired together to have lasting change. Those are the 3 pieces that create a housework framework that prevents us from being overwhelmed and helps us keep our home functional so that life can happen there with joyful activity. The amount and kind of housework that we need to incorporate into a maintenance framework is different for every family and every home and every season of life. Even within our own families, what works during one point in our life won't work in the next. So I've created a free guide to help us walk through the process of creating a housework routine that will keep our own particular situation afloat. You can find this free guide, download it, and get started today by going to simplyconvivial.com/clean. That's simplyconvivial.com/clean to get this free guide. It will help you not only make your own housework routine, but it'll help you repent, rejoice, and repeat while you do it.